Good afternoon, everybody. This is Anaris on Tuesday, September 21st, 2010. And if you did not already know, patch 1.1 was released on the North American servers for StarCraft 2. If you haven't already got that downloading, I would go ahead and start that. Just load up your StarCraft 2 executable and it will be on its merry way. However, this did have an unfortunate side effect in that I was not able to load any pre 1.1 replays without having serious lag and frame issues. I don't know what's up with it. I tried loading 3 different replays, 3 different maps, and tested a whole bunch of other stuff. Couldn't figure out what was wrong with it. So I'm going to keep messing with it, but I wanted to get something up for you guys today. So I just decided, what the heck, I will log on to Battle.net, even though I'm like half asleep, play a couple games, and if I have any good ones, I'll just cast it and we'll go with it. So, fair warning to those people who prefer the high-level games. This is not a professional Korean game or anything. This is just me waking up and playing random in 2v2s. So, I don't even know who my opponent is. You know, I just, like I said, it was just random 2v2s, and I got partnered up with Billy the Zerg. So, I'm going to go ahead and start this video, and we'll just see what happens. And we're off. So we have myself spawning Anaris down here in the bottom left position as the blue Protoss. My teammate is Billy, the red Zerg, down in the 6 o'clock position. Up here at 12 o'clock we do have Lamokin, the purple Protoss. And finally his teammate is Volatile, spawning as the teal Zerg in the 2 o'clock position. And already, first thing to note, as this game gets underway, we do have a probe leaving very early from Lamokin's base, pushing us out. That poor animal just got shoved aside by the probe. Anyways, he's running down towards our base to either scout extremely early, or to do some sort of proxy position, or maybe even a cannon push. So, looking forward to see what's going to happen, as I just threw down my pylon a second ago, and I'm scouting around to make sure there was no probe sent at the very start of the match, and I did not see anything. However, I did not scout down here, which unfortunately for me is actually going to lead to this proxy pylon being built at the base of my main starting area. So I am sending my own probe up here to scout out their own bases. And so far up here, I'm seeing that we did have an Overlord built first. He's sitting on 14 drones right now. No expansion just yet. Might be saving up for that, as he does have a good bit of minerals right now. Purple is throwing down a forge as I throw my camera way into the canyon. So you can see there's nothing up here going on just yet for Purple. However, if you take a look down at my base, he is throwing down his forge right here under the cover of this pylon. So Billy's just chatting up a little bit about the strats and whatnot, as I do throw down my own gateway at the top of my ramp. Also do have an assimilator that just finished. Going to have some gas incoming very soon, as the first cannon for Lamokin is thrown down. So might see this push here very soon as he does move his probe up into my base. And meanwhile, I do want to point out that I did scout out that early expansion with my probe. Kind of harassed it a little bit just to let him know, you know, like, hey, I see you, I know you're there. So at this point, I'm looking around in the Protoss base, and, you know, I'm like, something's fishy here. Nothing is up here whatsoever. So, new players, I actually want you to really pay attention to this. This is how you can tell if you're being cannon rushed. Move up to your opponent's base, scout around. If it's Protoss and you don't see anything up here, he's either building at his expansion, which I already checked by moving through here, or he's doing a proxy position of sorts. So I just pinged my map to let you guys, or to let my teammate know that there was a cannon rush. And you can see I moved my probes down here very quickly to take out the probe that was building near my mineral line. This was actually a very good move. The reason that I sacrificed a couple of probes, I mean, really, it's worth it. You can effectively shut down the cannon push by sacrificing, you know, 1 or 2 probes to the cannon gods down here. But in turn, you stop the cannon push altogether. So at this point, you know, he is sending another probe down, as you can see, but I am chrono boosting, or I was chrono boosting out some zealots, so now I've got 2 zealots here at the choke point, which this probe is getting ready to run into if he does try to go up my ramp. Sure enough, he does try, and he gets smacked in the face, and that is that for the cannon push. So I did bring out a Stalker now to clean up a little bit. I'm going to use this to take out this pylon because I can outrange the cannon, which is just below it. And at this point, I realize that I'm in a pretty comfortable position shutting this down. I could bring another Stalker out here to kill this. You can see that another cannon is being placed down here. And the only immediate threat up here now is the vision from this pylon, which I'm taking out right now. So he is going to deny me a second gas, so I'm probably just going to stick with kind of a low-tier build for the moment. Meanwhile, Billy is sending several Zerglings in here to the to Volatile's base, and he's going to scout out that the expansion has finished, and he's going to send several Zerglings up here to try to attack. And they did fight in the mineral line, so not all of the Zerglings are really getting in here and able to do the damage that they needed to do. So Volatile was actually able to do more damage than he would have otherwise. So a little bit of a miss micro by Billy, but that's okay. So he is trying to take out this expansion. He does have about 7 Zerglings or so it might do a little bit of damage, but there are some more Zerglings popping out. As you can see, there are several more right here, as well as a couple spine crawlers. So this attack isn't really going to be able to do much more than just take out the expansion, which, is good enough. So we'll take a look here at these Zerglings are still trying to pump down this hatchery as far as they can, getting down to 3 hit points. 3, and managed to live. So extremely lucky for Volatile, as he did even have those Zerglings trying to push in. So I wanted to show you guys this because this was actually my response to the cannon push. I'm like, alright, you know what? There's any number of ways I can handle this. I could fast tech to air, I could do a low tier push, I could do any number of things, because when you have a cannon pusher and he fails, his economy is really going to be hurting, as you can see. So I figured, you know what, I'm going to have a little fun. So I decided to do my own cannon push. And you can see that I've already put a cannon down here, and I've put a second pylon, and I'm probably going to shoot myself in the foot by telling you this. But one of the things you can do when you're cannon pushing, build a pylon in front of the cannon, so that way melee units can only attack it, from here or from here. They can't get a complete surround. So this Zealot's going to chase around my probe a little bit, but you can see that I am building these other 2 cannons under the range, melee-wise, of this photon cannon. So my push is working out a little bit better right here, as I'm sure at this point he is probably face-palming just a little bit, as I do have enough cannons here under the range of these, to where these Zerglings aren't even really going to be an issue. Never mind the fact that they pretty much came in with a lemming train, but that's okay. Because I will also note that while that happened, there was a small push down here by Volatile, but it was driven away by Billy. Nothing really, just some Zergling. Zergling on Zergling action, as, Lamokin continues to build these cannons down here, but, it's not really going to do a whole lot of good. At this point, his income is really going to be hurting, because you can see now that I have built cannons all the way up into the mineral line. So he is now returning all of the minerals that he can from the mineral line, and probably, he could be mining here just a little bit. You can see that he is sitting on 600 minerals. Some of that was actually sent by his friend, or I guess I don't know if his friend or not. But anyways, he is going to throw down a Nexus right here, and you can see that I have built a couple photons right here. You'll notice, actually, I did this on purpose. One of the cannons is in range of the Nexus, the other one is not. That is because I wanted to have one of them not auto-firing, just in case we had some sort of attack on it. I wanted to have that cannon get the extra fire. Not really super important, but, every little bit counts. So I am also building this cannon right here between these 2 mineral patches, so that way any Zerglings that come up, they can't get a complete surround, because number one, they got this cannon right here, which has this little choke right here, and yeah, so point in case, taking advantage of terrain, doodads, and whatnot, very important when doing something like that. So there was a little engagement right there, and I'm actually going to rewind. There was a whole bunch of stuff happening at the same time during this game, so you can see that I kind of sacrificed some of my Zealots and whatnot to ensure that these units would not get down into our base. As Red is sitting on not really a whole lot at this point. He did actually tech up to Mutas, so he kind of left the early units behind and was kind of vulnerable and whatnot. So I decided to press on, try to take out this hatchery, and saw that it was at surly low hit points. So knock that out. That's game over for that thing. As he is trying to build up more Zerglings and take out these Zealots, but at this point, Zealots have done their job. I mean, whatever. It's certainly hurt the income, as you can see. Red is definitely sitting as king of the minerals right now with just over 1,000 income per minute with his almost saturated expansion and a saturated main base, and he is going to send up a whole bunch of mutas now to attack the Teal Zerg, which is horribly unprepared for such an encounter, as he has been entirely focusing on very, very early land units. So, not a whole lot else going on up here. You know, I do continue to push out my cannons a little bit, and kind of pretty much just goof off at this point. You know, like I said earlier, this wasn't really a top tier game. This is pretty much just me goofing off and trying to use a little irony in my way of taking out my opponent. So you can see that more larvae are splashing down here, but at this point, you know, obviously this Zerg's gone. His expansion's gone. Here comes the last-ditch effort with the Zerglings, trying to take out the Queen, getting in here, taking out a whole bunch of the drones. Not too much that can really stop him at this point from doing damage. However, there are several more Mutalisks that are going to pop up, and obviously Zerglings can't climb up the lair and hop onto the Mutalisks, so those are going to die very quickly as well. As I do build a pylon over here, and I'm thinking, hey, what the hey, you know, I might as well build some cannons and take out these and just keep on, you know, being a dick, so to speak. So I do have these cannons taking out these buildings here, and all the while I'm kind of laughing to myself. So anyways, you know, this game does wrap up. Like I said, it wasn't a top-tier game by any means, but it was just kind of me goofing off because I did not have any games to cast today whatsoever. I wanted to put up something kind of goofy and whatnot, something to kill some time, and that was pretty much the best game I had out of the three in terms of entertainment value. One of them, the two people left immediately right off the start. I guess their game crashed, and the other one we ended up just doing a double proxy and barracks whatnot. So that ended really quickly. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoy this. I will hopefully have some better games for you by tomorrow. All the websites that I've usually checked don't even really have any good 1.1 replays up right now. So this is hopefully going to be kind of a one-time deal. And anyways, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys later.